Okay, so just really quick, we're
Okay.
working of Dyson Sphere Infinite McDonald's, and what that means, it's an ever-expanding Dyson Sphere of McDonald's in all directions, up,
Mhm.
down, left, right, back, forward, all wrapped around a sun, which is powering an AI
Yes.
named Grimace
Yes.
that
Yes.
is running an experiment where we have created the space,
Uh-huh.
flooded it with current animals from our time in Earth, and also altered the restaurants only insofar as to make them automated
Yes.
and infinitely producing.
Yes. So what we're going to try and do here today is we're going to try and figure out how would life evolve in an infinite McDonald's. We've got a number of things. Let me get some music going. What should we listen to here today, Gal? I'm thinking YouTube, thinking I want some McDonald's.
It's a McDonald's like just up the street. We can make it pretty quick if we just hustle our feet. My son said, I don't want McDonald's. I said, listen, buddy, I got a real big craving for some chicken nuggets. And I'm
What's this one?
McDonald's is a place to rock. Rock and roll McDonald's. Rock and roll McDonald's.
That'll do for now. So let me read it off here for you guys. Let's say some guys in the future make a dimension where it's just an infinite McDonald's, and they just throw 10 million of every animal on Earth into there. How would life evolve there? Would it be a place dominated by invertebrates? Fantastic question. Today in this essay, I will be explaining why, whatever this means. Okay, so we have ourselves this question, right? What is the infinite McDonald's? We're going to presume the universe began in the Big Bang, and the Big Bang took place in some McDonald's kitchen, and it just expanded outwards. Now, it does beg the question, 10 million of every animal on Earth is there. So we're just transferring the animals over and adapting to seeing how they would survive that. So it's incredibly tall, too. I don't think so. Other than the world's largest McDonald's, which is in Orlando, Florida, which does rule and does smack, and if they do serve spaghetti, is 3 stories tall. And they have a slide that goes in the third to the first floor. And it rules, and it smacks, and it's cool, and they serve spaghetti. Science. Okay, cool. So let's call this Grimace. Grimace is our producer. Now we need the primary consumers. We already know roaches and various bugs are the animals that would thrive most in the aesthetic. There are no trees, which means you will have to walk on 2 feet. That's true, but there are lights, like hanging lights. So animals could still, like, with a fucking monkey their way across. Okay, and then we can get rid of... Secondary consumers are probably going to be carnivores? Oh god, I don't know anything about stuff. The only things that can survive off lettuce, pickles, onions, and tomatoes would be the primary consumers. Everything would be based across the rats, the cockroaches, the bugs, all those things that can eat from, like, the toppings bar, basically. The McDonald's dimension infinite ingredients get energy by being produced by Grimace. There's no sunlight. So everything that gets produced in those settings would have zero Oh, there would be no natural exposure to the sun. Grimace is the AI, right? And technically speaking, the sun. But Grimace is merely the structure, like the bones, the skeleton, the corpse that this McDonald's is living in is Grimace. And Grimace produces these natural, like, Burger King burgers. Burger King burgers? Sorry. Okay, alright. We're gonna go through every single one of these groups, I think, and we're gonna figure out how would they be affected living inside of an infinite McDonald's. One, we already know there is no sun, because all they have to work off of is the lighting above. The primary consumers, fine. They exist as they do now. Oh my god, the lights would never turn off. It would never be nighttime. Nocturnal animals would be fucked. The lights never turn off. There's no sunlight, but there is no nighttime. Oh, holy shit, that's intense. Let me look up types of animals. Yeah, here we go. We got animals, baby. So we've got no sunlight. We have no nighttime. What else do we have? Watering holes would probably be like mop buckets, right? Like floor cleaning mop buckets that would just been left there. Those would probably be like the closest thing to watering holes. There would have to be a fire to activate the sprinklers to create rain, which I'm curious. Do you think an animal might adapt to that? I don't think so. That's true. Soda machines would be... Oh man, but soda machines require you to hit buttons. Confusing water access. We would get a lot more smaller animals. So animals would probably not get as large as elephants. Elephants would probably very quickly die off. I think it's safe to say that like if you put elephants into the infinite McDonald's, it's an unsustainable atmosphere for them. Elephants, dead. Animals, okay? So, let's start. Okay, fish we already established. Fish would survive in bathrooms. They'd probably evolve to live in the pipes and the walls and underneath. Crabs would evolve here, and they'd probably be horrifying. How would we introduce animals? Would they all start in one area and spread out? Yes, I'm presuming this is a Noah's Ark situation. They would all start in one area and disperse naturally into the infinite. It would mean probably that entire different evolution groups and biomes will start to exist, because if it's infinite and they walk off in different directions, after 1,000 years, the two groups on two different sides would probably be wholly different animals. Anyhow, invertebrates, squids, jellyfish, octopi. Some of these might survive. I think invertebrates might be like one of the first to die. I don't think the bathrooms would support this many. There's just not enough space. I mean, okay, that's not true. There's an infinite amount. I mean, most of them are bottom feeders, right? Like maybe they could survive. This would have to work over into the theory that there are like water retention aquifers, oceans worth, dark water ocean. Not all invertebrates are aquatic. Okay, yeah, like sure. Okay, insects and worms. The sea invertebrates would be fucked. The insect vertebrates would be probably fine. So let's say insects, yes. Jellyfish, no. The jellyfish die off. Okay, moving on. Fish. You have to presume fish survive in the pipes, right? That's the goal here. That's what we're thinking. Fish would have to like gain hands to like crawl their way through the pipes. Not to mention, what if another fish, he's got his own little hands. Like you got two fish and they're coming in for a little pipe kiss. But then you have to evolve after that, and then you probably would get a lot more. They got like teeth now, and they show up, and then it just becomes this like fucking making out with braces for them. Like they go teeth interlocked, and then they end up like just killing each other in the pipes. I think eels win. I think it's an eel's world. I don't think any other creature out there can survive as well as either piranha or an eel. And what if the eels? Well, if the eels get arms. And I think they eventually turn into humans, or however that shit works. I don't know how that shit works. Let's just put on the board, say, fish, algae. Fish aren't algae. Algae is grass. But like, I understand where you're coming from. People can eat off of algae. How to grow algae? Add nutrients to the water. Plenty of sunlight. There's no sunlight. Algae couldn't exist. Herbivores are fucked. These are our big three. These are the big three. We got eels, piranha, and crab. They're the only ones big enough to survive in the pipes, while also being deadly enough to just fight back. Crab's shell, the defense methodology they have. Piranhas, very front-loaded. Eels, tiny. They're so hard to get. So I think that would be that's our fish category. I think they're the only ones there. Fish are done. Let's just go ahead and mark fish off. Okay, so what's next, everybody? Next is amphibians. How could amphibians survive in this setting, right? Like, where would they go? Turn the sinks on? You're right. The sinks is a great point. This is infinite sinks, so we just have like massive amounts of sinks. It'd probably just be giant stillwater swamps. What other creatures, right? What other creatures are there in the amphibians section other than frogs? I can only think of frogs. Salamanders, those would probably all be fine. I think all amphibians are too similar. That's kind of me criticizing God. I think all amphibians are really similar, and I think that was kind of a creative, kind of like where God was like, oh. And like, don't get me wrong, it's not like you can do a whole lot to a creature that can walk on land and also in water. Like, I get it. I understand the creative downfall there, and not to be all blasphemous or whatever, but like, could have probably gotten a little weirder with it, you know? I don't have any off the top of my head. It just feels like everything is kind of a fraud. I think amphibians would evolve to live in the fryer water? Are amphibians cold-blooded? Oh shit, do you think we'd get like super frogs? Frogs that can just like live in fryer oil? They'd have to have no nerve endings. Oh my god, what are materials that can survive in a fryer? Heat of fryer. 334 Fahrenheit. Okay. All right. Okay. So, amphibians, I'm going to mark off. Amphibians can survive But all amphibians are frogs. I don't care about anything else. You can try and tell me I'm wrong or provide me with an example of something that is an amphibian that isn't a frog, and good luck to you, because they're all frogs. Reptiles are where things are gonna get a little weird. They're not amphibious. They're terrestrial animals, but they're cold-blooded typically. So that means that they would need without sunlight, they would need natural warmers, which means most of them would be around the deserts, which would be the fryers and the heat lamps and the like. Most of those areas have small water sources, such as it can be licked off the side of the freezer machine, the condensation, and the refrigerators. So I think they would survive the water. They evolved to live in the fryer oil. Presume. Okay. I want to talk about this Exodia. I want to talk about that real quick. So we have to presume Grimace is going through the steps, right? Which means he would change the fryer oil, but I don't think he would clean it. I don't think there'd be reactive cleaning. So I think there would still be dirt, and there would still be buildup in areas where there was not routine set up. So like seating areas would probably get like vacuumed or mopped through some means. Even then, I don't even think it would. I think it would just roll out a mop bucket. Yeah, Exodia. Yeah, he's an artificial intelligence, but he's more like a caretaker. So it is a thing just going through the motion. Reptiles would exist. Alligators, crocodiles, dead. They're gone. There's not enough water to support either of them. Even there's no sand. So sand reptiles are out. They have no methods of camouflage. The only reptiles I can see that would survive are the ones with natural settings of camouflage. Ultra functions off oxygen? It does, yes. It definitely functions off of oxygen, but the oxygen is definitely filtered in through an external system because there's no natural producers. Oh, wait a minute. We forgot something important. McDonald's always have some sort of like silly little plants they put around, like a little like a corner plant in the room. There's not a lot, but there would still be some forms of dirt and plants, and I would presume they would get, if like one of them died, it would get replaced probably. So we would have tiny amounts of herbology and tiny amounts of dirt in an infinite landscape, an infinite time period. We would presume that more through just, animals being animals, there probably would slowly be a buildup of dirt in certain areas. They would immediately be worse. Yes, I do agree. But those creatures eat that shit, they die, the seeds in their body fall into the dirt that is smashed from the pot, and they produce more plants. I think snakes could exist, but I think they'd have a more difficult time. Snakes would be very restricted. Reptiles might be bone. Can anyone think of any reptiles that would be natural survivors? Types of reptiles. Turtles! Turtles, I think, would be fine. They would be slow, but you'd probably just get like turtles that hang out in between the sinks and the fryers, just waiting for food, and they'd probably just graze on the salad bar. Geckos, chameleons, they'd be okay. Iguanas, probably okay. So I think as a whole, reptiles would be okay. I think snakes would be. I have yet to see an argument for snakes that would convince me otherwise. I think snakes are damn. But I hear you. Water moccasins might still exist. We'll keep that in mind. Okay, so here we are. Fish. We have eels, crab, piranha. Those are our three major survivors. And then on our amphibians, it's just frogs. It's frogs all the way down. There's no other kind of amphibian. Fuck you if you say different. Reptiles? Fuck snakes. Everything else? Yeah, okay. Birds. Now, birds are going to be really interesting, right? Because birds fly around, they squawk, they yell, they get angry, stuff. They kind of hang out, they shift feathers. I think birds would be fine. If birds would just become short flight creatures, the hummingbird is done. I'm sorry to the hummingbird, not going to work out. Are done. But like our pigeons, our basic birds, crows, ravens, those scavenger birds would probably be fine. Also, they eat other animals. Like most of the birds would probably hang out near the trays and just eat shit that walked by. Under birds, I'm gonna write chicks rock. I think that'll get my point across. What about the flamingos? 50-50 shot for the flamingos. That could go either way. If the flamingos find a biome that complements them, like the bathroom, and they can find a way to pluck fish out of the toilets, they're good. But otherwise, 50-50. The birds are dumb as shit. Birds can learn copying mechanisms. Not the same as intelligence. They evolved from dinosaurs. Are you calling dinosaurs smart? Are you about to stand out here and call a dinosaur smart? Birds can be clever, like cats can, but they are not smart. Bro, babies just copy mechanisms from their parents. Humans are stupid at birth, but birds are stupid as adults. Bro, birds don't have frontal cortexes. Magpies mourn their dead. Oh, look, bird Twitter is gonna show up. Eat my Ravencore ass. Ain't that the house from Harry Potter? Anyhow, mammals, guys. We were talking about mammals. So let's talk about mammals. Let's abandon pandas. Are they okay? I think pandas are okay, actually. All right, let's go through a list of mammals. Hang on. We're going to go through this in kind of a rapid pace and try and figure this out, okay? So, carnivores. Are carnivores fine as a whole? Yes. As long as the primary producers are fine, we're fine. Bats. Probably fuck. No nighttime. Bats are done for. Marsupials, I think, are fine. Monkeys would learn to eat Big Macs. They peel them like banana. What the fuck is this? These creatures, monotremes, they're done. They're done. They can't survive. There's not enough dirt. Bears? I don't know if bears would survive. I think bears would probably evolve and size down into wolverines. So we'll discard bears. We'll say wolverines. Felidae? Oh, that's cats. Cats would thrive in this environment, probably. Deer? No. Deer are too big. Deer are too big. They're too big. They're too big and too stupid and not they would not survive. Polar bears survive in freezers and ambush predators. Squirrels? They would lose nuts. I think but they also wouldn't have winters. So they might be okay. Sloths? I think sloths are okay. I think sloths are okay, guys. Sloths are okay. Even-toed undulates? Probably dead. Hedgehogs? I give them 50-50. Horses? Horses are fucked. Javelinas? Pigs? I think javelinas and pigs and the like would be fine. Okay, I think we narrowed down our world. No sunlight, no nighttime, very few herbs, very confusing water access. The biomes would split up between seating areas, fryers, bathrooms, play place, manager office, cashiers, and drive-thru counters. The animals themselves, fish, eels, crabs, piranhas. Really, it's just going to be pipes filled with awful, evil, eldritch creatures. Amphibians. It's just frogs. Reptiles. Everything else fine. Snakes, get fucked. Birds. Chicks rock. Birds be fine. Mammals. Sloths are okay. Everything else is more or less fine. The big ones die. The little ones thrive. And I think that's it. I think we've solved the infinite McDonald's. You'd get probably weird things. You'd get worms that learn to survive in fryer oil. Most of the bugs would probably create natural dirt inside of the salad bar trappings. Wouldn't produce much, but there are bananas. There's a good chance you might get banana trees at some point. Most creatures would be chumby. They'd be surviving off of McDonald's food. A hard living, but they're fine. I think locusts end up choking out all life as they migrate from one McDonald's to the next, consuming all lettuce along the way. Does anything eat locusts? I'm not an ancient Egyptian. I don't give a shit about that problem. All these supplies get refreshed on the daily. So it'd be an infinite environment anyways. Okay, goats would thrive the most, IMO? Yeah, goats would be the bread and butter of our new society. Okay, hear me out, guys. What if I ran a tabletop game in the infinite McDonald's settings? Would you guys? What do you guys think? If I ran a setting in the infinite McDonald's that was sort of like a mix between the manga Blame and Horizon Zero Dawn of like cavemen folk inside of an infinite McDonald's. You guys think that'd be fun? I don't know when. Probably a few weeks. Whenever it takes me. Thanks for coming today. I'm fucking done. That was it. We solved the problem. That was literally all I wanted to stream today.